Hi guys, I hope you're having a good day. Today I'm going to be looking at ChatGPT and how you can improve the output to craft content that's perfect for you. If you've not heard about it, ChatGPT is a natural language generation tool that uses advanced machine learning techniques to generate conversations and content. It's incredibly powerful and it can save you time when creating content for your website or blog or any other purpose you've got for it, whether you're knocking out articles for, as you say, the website, whether it's an essay that you need done for school, naughty, but people are using it for that. Whether you're using it to create chatbot conversation scripts, product descriptions, technical instructions, anything like that. I'm going to test it out with a simple prompt, and then I'm going to look more carefully and try and craft one and see how it performs, how they compare. So I'm going to go over to the tool now. Okay, so when you open up ChatGPT, this will be what you're first presented with. If this is the first time you've used it, you'll have nothing over here on the left. This is where your conversations will be shown, and you can go back to them. So you can see the history of what you've been saying. By default, you get the ChatGPT 3.5. If we open that up, you can see you can have that. They have a legacy version, which is the same thing but slower. So there's no reason to use the legacy one at all. So you've got default, which you can see it's got mid-grade reasoning. It is high speed and not that concise. And then you've got ChatGPT 4, which you can see here, top-end reasoning, quite concise and not very fast. We're going to use that because obviously speed isn't so much the worry. We want the construction of the material. If it takes an extra minute or two, that's usually not going to be a problem for us. If we were running like a chatbot, that could be a problem. Obviously, you'd have users sending you a message, and they don't really want to wait for that to be constructed. But that's not what we're doing. We're going to be writing an article for a blog. So we are going to have a little look. I'm going to have a little look at this. We're going to say, write an article about our cocktail bar, Booze Bar. So this is a simple prompt. It's not a good prompt, but this will get us an article. We'll have a look, see what it produces, and then so we'll hit enter, and then we'll have a quick look over it, see if it sounds any good, and then we'll look at how we can improve it. So I'm just going to pause the video whilst this completes it, because as you can see, it's quite slow. Okay, so that's done. That's produced 570 words. I've thrown it into Word just to do a quick word count. And there we go. So we've got a title, which is what it's create that itself. So Booze Bar, a symphony of spirits, creativity, and camaraderie. It's not unpleasant. Introduction. It's bothered to tell you it's an introduction. We don't really need that title there, but obviously we can just delete that. And then it goes on. So welcome to Booze Bar, the city's enchanting yet unassuming destination for unforgettable cocktails, lively conversation, and genuine connections. That's all nice. Now you notice it's fudged where it is because we haven't told it where it is. There's no mention. So the cities. It's made an assumption. It's probably in a city. Obviously, if this was a real place, you'd have to fact check that, make sure it's in the right place. One way to deal with that is to tell it. So we will do that in our updated prompt. We'll tell it exactly where we want it to be located. I had a quick read through. I noticed a few things. It is very much an Americanized text. So we've got examples. So we can find one. Find a Z. It's usually the easiest way. So cozy nights. That's with a Z. They're prioritized. So this is an American text. So being in Britain, and my booze bar here is going to be set in London, I'm going to tell ChatGPT that I want it in British English, and we will see what we get now. British English obviously has some variations, both in the grammar and the spellings. So we'll see if we can fix that up. Just going to pause this again, and I will throw in a updated version of the prompt, and we'll discuss it before I set it off. Okay, so I've put in my new prompt. One thing I have done is I've asked it to give me some title suggestions, and it came up with this one, Mixing It Up, Tips from Our Bartenders on Creating the Perfect Drink. I liked that one. I asked it for 5 suggestions. That was my favourite. I also asked it for some subheadings, and I've put my favourite subheadings here. So the importance of quality ingredients, techniques for perfect presentation, and creating and innovation in mixology. So mixology is obviously a trending term. If you go in your keywords research, you'll find it very much in there. So we're going to use it. So breaking this down, I have told it to use British English, British English spellings and grammar. I've asked it to write 500 words. By default, it will always try and put out around 500. You're going to get somewhere between 400 and 600 out of ChatGPT most of the time. Write a 500-word blog post about Booze Bar, London's finest cocktail bar. I want it to be warm and engaging, so I've told it that. I want the tone to be warm and engaging. I've repeated the company name. Company name equals booze bar. I don't need to get confused. Industry, it's done a very good job in the previous example. It knew what I was talking about just from booze bar, and I think my prompt was it was a cocktail bar. But here I'm stating industry is we're a seller of mixed alcoholic drinks to adults who visit the bar. The title we've gone for, mixing up tips from our bartender on creating the perfect drink, and the subheadings that we came up with. So we're going to set that off, and again that will take just a moment. There we go, it's on its way. We'll give that a minute or two. It takes about 2 minutes at most, and I'll come back to you. Okay, so it's just finished. So we now have our article here, mixing up tips for our bartenders on creating the perfect drink. It's given us the introduction again. I personally will delete that because you don't need to say it's an introduction. The first part here, that's your introduction. So, nestled in the heart of London, Booze Bar has garnered a reputation as the city's finest cocktail bar, combining a warm and engaging atmosphere with a dedication to the art of mixology. The skilled bartenders at Booze Bar are the driving force behind the establishment's success, and in this blog post they share their secrets for creating the perfect drink. We'll explore the importance of quality ingredients, techniques for perfect presentation, and the value of creating an innovation in mixology. So it's told us what it's going to tell us. So this is a key to a good blog. Is in your intro, you're going to suggest what you're going to talk about, then you talk about it, and then in your conclusion, you say what you've just talked about. It's a fairly standard layout. So it's done a very good job there of introducing what it's going to talk to us about. There's our first subheader. You'll notice there's no like, it hasn't made it bold. It hasn't given it an H1 tag, H2 tag. It's got nothing. So this is literally like a raw article. You're then going to put it into your blog or into your website, and you're going to want to format it. You're going to want to give it your H1, H2 tags, H2, H3, whatever it is you want to get it to. Obviously the title's H1, H2 for your subheaders, and if there was then further nested subheaders under that, go to H3 and so on. Lists and bullet points always popular in a blog, and here we see that ChatGPT has knocked out a little list for us under the second subheader. So techniques for perfect presentation, it's listed those. So it's got glassware, garnishes, and ice. Very nice. Final section there, creativity and innovation in mixology. Seems all very good. I've read that once already. It seems nice. And then a conclusion. Now I do leave conclusion. So I don't use the introduction, but I do keep a conclusion. It just separates it from this final paragraph to this, so it gives you a little break, shows you where it's going to go. So obviously this is good to go. You take that, put it in your website, add your images, your featured image, metadata. Let's see if ChatGPT can knock out metadata. Please provide a meta description for the above article. No more than, let's say, 140 characters. Discover Booze Bar's secrets to crafting perfect cocktails, from quality ingredients to presentation and creativity in this engaging blog post. Okay, good. And let's just have a quick check with Word. It's over there. That came in at 144 characters with spaces, 125 without. So pretty close to what I asked for. Yeah, that's happy. 160 is your general maximum for a metadata, so that's all good. Meta description, sorry. Yeah, so it's looking good. So you'd post that, you'd put that in your meta description box, whether you're using Yoast or any other kind of plugin, or just using the WordPress basic details. Yeah, and that's pretty good. I'm happy with that. So what do you think? Would you use ChatGPT? This is their Plus plan, which gives you access to GPT-4. It's $20 a month. That's about £17. And you can, I believe, there's now a number of plugins as well. Nothing I've needed to use because I'm not interested in the coding and the Shopify carts and all that sort of thing. But it's something there if you want to get involved with. ChatGPT can expand and bring in automation for you. So yeah, lots to look at there. For me, I've been enjoying it. It's something I'm sort of planning to use more in the future. And we'll see. Obviously, you've got to use the latest tools to keep up with the competition. So So there you go, guys. That's ChatGPT 4. $20 a month, £17 or thereabouts per month. Very powerful. It's knocked out a perfectly good article there in a matter of minutes. It's accurate. Not a lot of facts in there to particularly check. So that's the one thing to always be aware of with AI writers at the moment, at least. They are not factually correct. They can pick up some things if it's a widely known, well-regarded fact. But if it's just going to throw out a stat at you, there's every chance it's made that up. Just because it sounds good. It is, they're generative text creators, so they come up with what sounds right. You have to do fact checks afterwards, so it's not a one and done tool all the time. But if it's a very general topic, if you're talking about like brand identity or how to open a bar, all that sort of thing, that's very general. But say that second example, how to open a bar, it might then start talking about how to register your company or what tax implications there are. Those are facts, and those facts need to be checked. You can't just rely on them. But other than that, very, very powerful, very good, very enjoyable. I would probably rate this. It's not the best AI that I've found and used. I'd probably give this a 4 out of 5, I would say. But if you keep an eye out for my other reviews, so you can see which ones I recommend the most, what I think the highlights of each of them are. Just like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.